All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Brenda Hillard, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I live here in north central Minnesota. So let's see that we're all hooked up here. Whoop, whoop. We're live. This is good news. And welcome. Welcome to Coffee and Create. Got your coffee? I got my coffee. Look, Florida mug. So anyway, happy September. This is the first Coffee and Create with Brenda since the change of the month and soon to be the change of the season. So anyway, I have thoroughly enjoyed summer and I will take advantage of every last one of these days to go sit on my floaty. However, the seasons are changing. It's getting real cool at night, and I love, love, love the fall colors. So today I have a fun project to share with you. But first of all, hey, good morning, Karen. Yay, I'm glad you've got your coffee too. So I'm just waiting for a few more people. Ooh, we've got a few on this morning. So I wasn't sure with it being holiday weekend. So happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. I hope you have a fun and safe weekend. Yeah. What else? I want to flip down to my workstation and talk to you a little bit about Stampin' Up! Has started something new, you guys, and it's called Weekly Deals. You can get all of the details on my website at createwithbrenda.com and or subscribe to my newsletter, because every Monday I will be sending out a new I'm going to pop back up. I'm going to be sending out an email every Monday that will have the new items listed. So, and it's going to be a good selection. They said 11 to 13 items every week, and the products will vary per market. So be sure to check those out, because who doesn't love a deal, right? Right. And if your order is not over $150, please use my host code, my monthly host code. I'm going to go back to my workstation, and here is the new September host code. Add that. You qualifying purchases will receive a free gift from me. Any order placed with me, you will get one of my handmade cards. And yeah, host codes help me to accumulate prizes, giveaways, all that fun stuff, right? Yeah. All right, you guys, let's get started with our project. So our project today, as I told you, is a fun fold. And I'll show you the one that we're going to be making, and then you're going to want to stay tuned, because we're going to actually make 2 cards, and I have a third one to show you. So here it is, and the ribbon slides off, and then this opens like that. And I know you're wondering, where did this beautiful paper come from, right? Well, we stamp it. Yay! So I'm going to show you right now how to do that. I'm going to put just my little ribbon belly band back on around my card, and I'll set it up in the corner up here so we have a good look at it. And then I just stamped this little happy birthday and tied it on there with some linen thread, and I'll show you that as well. But this faux linen ribbon is like beautiful. All right, here we go. So the ribbon I'm using, I guess it's not faux linen, but it really kind of is. They call it a natural finished ribbon. You can stamp on this too, you guys. It's pretty cool. So there's our ribbon that we'll be using. We're also going to be using some of the linen thread that just comes on a little spool like this. My color palette for today's project is Cajun Craze, Crumb Cake, Pumpkin Pie, Cherry Cobbler, Crushed Curry, Early Espresso. All of those great fall colors. Hey, good morning, Joyce. How are you? All right, so the stamp set I'm going to use is called Nuts About Squirrels. And you guys, I have to tell you, I'm really not nuts about squirrels. They cause a lot of damage here to our maple trees, and I really dislike squirrels, but I love this stamp set. So this is what we'll be using. And here's what you'll need to recreate this card. You'll need a piece of cardstock that measures 5.5 by 11 inches. And then you'll need a medium-sized envelope. And then I have 3 pieces of basic white. One measures 5.25 by 7.5. And this one measures 5.25. Oh, you guys, I don't have this right. This is supposed to be 3.5, not 3 3/4. So 5.25 by 3.5, okay? And then I better check my measurement here too, because maybe I did just cut it at 3 3/4, and yes, I did. So I'm just gonna trim 1/4 inch off from there. All right. So 5.25 by 3.5. All right, let's bring in our card base. And is what we're going to do with that is we're going to score this. And we're going to score at 1.25. So cutting blade up at the top, line it up, 1.25, push it all the way up to the edge up here, score. Move it over to 5.5, score. Open up, we're gonna extend our arm because we're gonna measure over to 9.25 and score. Okay? So that's it for scoring. Now, when we fold this, I am having trouble seeing today. I've got a really bad glare. I don't know what is up with that. But I'm giving that 5.5 inch score line a good crease. And that just folds our card right in half. I'm going to fold back on that 1.25. And then I'm going to fold back on the 1 inch. So our card is going to open like this and fold close like that. This will make more sense in just a minute, okay? So let's bring in our piece of basic white. And again, this measures 5.25 by 7.5. This is the piece that we are going to create our designer series paper. And I just want to grab a piece of scrap up here, or just a little, the small worksheet, and let's get out our stamps. So to stamp our background, I want the branch from the Nuts About Squirrels, and like I said, all of the stamps are from Nuts About Squirrels. I have the leaf and then the veins for the leaf. Okay. So I'm going to stamp our branch in Early Espresso. And we're just going to stamp all random directions here, every which way. Turn it, can have it go the other way. And this is how we're going to create our own stamped designer series paper. What's everybody doing this weekend for the holiday? Anything? It's pretty quiet around our house, that's for sure. All right. And we'll do one more over here. That looks pretty good. You can see I have a couple little misses there, but that's no worry. We'll be able to stamp over that. So next, let's get into our Cajun Craze. And with our leaf, I'm just going to give each of these branches one or two of the Cajun Craze leaves. Lots of stamping here, so that'll give us a little time to visit. Oh, thanks, Karen. I hope you'll give this card a try. It is a really fun fold, and it works for several different things. And if you're a person that you're like, well, I'm just not into all this stamping to create my background paper, stay tuned, because I have a couple. We're going to make one card that uses designer series paper, and then we're going to make, or I can show you another card that uses designer series paper and die cuts. Okay, I'm going to clean off my leaf stamp. I'm going to move my Cajun Craze off to the side. We'll be coming back to it for our squirrel. All right, let's bring in the pumpkin pie. And we're going to do that same thing, adding some pumpkin pie leaves. And like I said, you can be pretty random with these, you guys. Nothing exact. And I love how these colors come together and really make each of the colors pop. Okay, I think that's good on our pumpkin pie. So let's move on to our crushed curry. Hi, Beth. Yeah, I love this set too. Like I said, I'm not a real live squirrel fan, but I really do love this set. And Beth, I have your bonus bobber. Watch this. Bonus bobber bundle. Say that a few times, huh? But I've got it here. It came yesterday, so I need to get that to you. All right, guys, you can see I'm just moving along here, adding the crushed curry. It's starting to look a lot like fall, isn't it? Okay. I think I'm good with the crushed curry. And now our last color is going to be the cherry cobbler. And this one, I'm going to use it to fill in what I call gaps. So not necessarily on the branch, just wherever there's a gap. All right, I think I've got it just the way I want it. And I've also gotten my fingers all over in the ink, so let me clean that up just a bit. There we go. All right, so move this off to the side. I will have to come back to it eventually, but all right, so this little thing, this little stamp thing is the veins for the leaves. And is all you do, and this isn't exact either, but, and I debated about whether or not I really needed this, but I loved how it just kind of brought this to life. So I know it's a lot of going back over all of these leaves, and I do always try to be respectful of your time here, but this one does take a little time. But don't you think that makes a big difference to have the veins? I'll zoom in so you can see. Have the veins on the leaves versus not? I think it does. And maybe it's not showing up so well on the camera, but all right. So if you tuned in a little bit late, be sure to go out to my website, createwithbrenda.com, and check on the weekly specials. Stampin' Up! Started a new promotion starting on the 1st, where they're offering weekly deals. So every Monday, I will be sending out a new newsletter that will highlight the items for the weekly deals. And they're only on for a week. So when you go out there and look at what's there today, it ends on the 7th, and brand new products will be added on Monday. Is that nuts? I'm excited about it. The second card that we're going to do features a couple of the items that are in the weekly deals this week. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. And that one goes much quicker than this one. So hang in there. I'm just about done here. All right. I think one more. Yay, I got them all. All right, I'm just going to put that off to the side. While I've got that brown ink out, I'm going to bring in just my scrap piece of basic white. And I'm going to bring in the happy birthday stamp from this set. Ink that up with Early Espresso. And that's going to be my little happy birthday banner. Okay. Clean that off. And let's bring our trimmer in, and we're going to cut this now. We need a piece that measures, remember this was 5 1/4 by 7 1/2. So we're going to cut a piece that measures 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to cut another piece that measures 1 1/4 inches. And then we're going to cut another piece. I'll put all these directions on my website, okay? And then this one's just is 2 inches left, so we're going to cut it right in half at 1 inch. Okay, so we have 2 1-inch pieces, 1 1/4 inch, and then 4 by 5 1/4, and they're all 5 1/4 in length. I don't know how I got off there a little bit, but I did. That's all right. Okay, so to put this together, before I actually start gluing on my pieces, I'll glue on my pieces. I think it'll make more sense. I'm going to take my 1¼ piece. I'm going to add some liquid glue. And that's going to go on the flap. Oh, that's what I did. This was supposed to be 1¼ inch. Well, that's okay. All I'm going to do, when I looked at it, it was like, that's too wide. And then I cut, and I wasn't supposed to. But this is the piece I cut off, I think. So I'm just going to add that on. And none the wiser. You wouldn't even know. I'm going to put adhesive on my 1-inch strip. And that's going to go right here. So here's what I've got going. When the card opens, we've got these flaps, right? Then on the inside, I'm going to take the other 1-inch strip. Oh, I know, Beth. Don't you wish, that refills would have been available? I know, I do. But with the stamp set and the inspiration from the card bases and the envelopes, hey, yeah, Donna, that's a really good idea, a little turntable. But, oh well. I love to stamp, so this didn't bother me, but I can fully understand that this might be a little much for people that really aren't into the stamping piece of it and just like assembling cards. So I'm going to put that right in there. So now when our card folds, it goes like this. And then we open, and it's that. How cool is that, right? Let's bring in our insert piece, which was the 5¼ by 3½. And all I want to do on this one is I'm going to bring in my early espresso again. And I'm just going to stamp a few branches along here, because I want to have a place for our squirrel. So I'm going to ink up the outline of the squirrel, and it's going to sit right in here like that. How fun is that? So we're creating this little scene, right? Then I'm going to bring back in the Cajun Craze, and I've got the filler for the squirrel, so I'm going to ink that up. And then is what I do to line this up is I just match up his feet and stamp, and then we get this squirrel. How cute, right? Then there's an acorn cap. So I'm going to bring in our little scratch piece here. I'm going to stamp off and stamp the cap. And then while I've got this all out still, I'm going to take my Cajun Craze. I'm going to give it a leaf. And I'm just going to add one of each of these. It's not going to be intense like it was before. I'll just add a crushed curry and a pumpkin pie. Good enough. And then we need those veins back in here. So, Donna, do they make turntables? I guess I've not ever, for stamping specifically, or are you just saying use like a kitchen turntable? All right, so, oh, we're getting close, you guys. We're getting real close. I want my early espresso. And I want this little sentiment that says, nuts about you. How cute is that? Right? Now remember I told you that I had crumb cake ink that was part of this. So is what I'm going to do with my crumb cake is I'm going to take that happy birthday stamp, and just when we fold this together, there's this plain edge right here. So is what I want to do is I'm going to fold this under so that I've just got that blank piece, right? And now we're just going to go happy birthday, and we're going to stamp it randomly here. Don't worry about it being all even and nice. It does not have to be. It just has to kind of fill in that blank cardstock that we have there on the front panel of our card. Perfect. That's how I wanted it. All right. So now when we fold our card, it looks like this. And this is all good. So this little piece, I keep going back and forth, but that's okay. I'm going to add some seal, and that's going to be the inside sentiment for our card. All right. Now we're going to bring in this big, beautiful, what did they call it? Natural finish ribbon. And I'm just going to tie that in a knot on the front. And believe it or not, haha, very punny, right? This does lay flat, so it will mail. And I'm going to take my ribbon scissor and just cut at a diagonal. Okay. And then let's bring in our little tag here. And you guys, this is a retired product, but I really do use it a lot. It's just this little tiny hole punch. Trim that off. And then we're just going to bring in our linen thread. And give that a little tie on there. I think we are anyway. Yep, there we go. All right. Thread it under, and then I'm just going to snip and tie a knot. So there is the basic idea for this fun fold. Looks just like that. Thank you, Lisa Miltakis. I'm glad you're on here this morning. All right, so there's that. Remember, the ribbon slides off. The card opens like that. Isn't it colorful and bright? And it's sure to make somebody's birthday very happy when they receive this card. All right. You have lots of birthdays coming up in September. I know I do. In fact, this adorable little grandbaby of mine turns 1 this month, which is so hard to believe. It was like such a fast year with her, but she is, I might be a little biased, but really honest, she's adorable. Okay, so there's our card. And then too, don't forget your envelope. The best decoration on this envelope, I think after stamping all of those leaves, would be just to add one simple leaf right here, boom, on the flap of our card. Don't you agree? And I didn't even stamp it that well. But you know what? It's okay, because leaves, if you look at them, leaves are not perfect either. So our little veins for the leaf. And because you know, no naked envelopes here at Create with Brenda. That is my motto. So there we have our matchy-matchy envelope and our card. All right, you guys, let's hop on to the next one. And like I said, this goes quick because we're not stamping our background paper. We're using designer series paper. And the paper that we're going to be using today is part of the weekly deals. I'm going to take down my host code so that you can see, there we go. You can see the Splendid Day paper, and I think you're getting a pretty good look because it's all shiny on one side, foils, and it's gorgeous. Here are the coordinating colors for the paper, and the one that I've chosen to use today is this paper right here. So let's bring that in. We have our card base again, remember 5.5 by 11. We're going to score at 1 1/4. And again, like I said, I will put all of these measurements on my website at createwithbrenda.com. And if you go out and look at the at it on YouTube, I will put it down below in the description. Okay, so 1 1/4, 5.5, 9 1/4. Okay, so there we have that. Before I put this away, we're going to cut our designer series paper. So you need this to be 5 1/4 by 7.5. We're going to cut our 4-inch piece. We're going to cut our 1 1/4 inch piece. And then we should have 2 inches left. I must have cut this a little big. So we're supposed to have 2 inches. So we want 2 inches. I'm going to trim this little piece off. Sorry about that. And then we'll go to 1 inch on each of these. There we go. All right. So now I just have this random scrap piece. This is going to be for our envelope because of what I just said. Remember, no naked envelopes. They have to be, whoops, that's not our envelope. That's our insert. I'm just going to put a piece of this beautiful Splendid Day. And you guys, I should tell you, normally this Splendid Day paper is $15 a pack. And because it is on sale or part of the weekly deal, through September 7th, the pack of 12 by 12 paper is $12 instead of $15. So that's pretty awesome. And then I'm going to take our card base. I normally don't do 2 cards, so I'm kind of bouncing all over. I'm sorry for that, but hey, Janine, are you at the lake? I hope you are. It's a beautiful day out there. Okay, so is what I want to do now, and I have to think about this a little bit. I'm going to put this piece going this way. I'm going to put the shiny foil here, which means I want the shiny foil here, which means I want the shiny, no. Let's see. Yeah. So then this will go back, and I want this piece on here because I want them to alternate like that. Okay. I don't know why, you guys, I keep cutting this piece off. I shouldn't be doing that. And that piece, yeah, it's supposed to only measure 1 1/4. So I don't know why I'm doing that. But anyway, it's okay. So I wanted this to be shiny, foil side up. And I'm just going to center it in there, just like that. Then I want this one to be the real soft pastel. And the colors that I'm using here for my base is the Fresh Freesia. That was the in color from last year. So this will be the last year that Fresh Freesia will be around. How sad is that? Okay, I'm gonna put this in here. And, ooh, I hate to cover up all that pretty shiny foil, but I'm gonna do it. So, is what I've just done with the Designer Series paper is I have them alternating. Isn't that pretty? This paper is like so gorgeous. It really is. I'm gonna add my little piece back on just because I don't like how uneven that looks. So I don't know if I'm just measuring wrong or if I cut it wrong in the beginning, but anyway, it's going back on. Just like that. Boom. All right, so now we've got this blank edge over here again, and here's what I've decided. These are on the weekly deals as well. These are the Summer Shadows dies, and they coordinate with this beautiful shaded summer stamp set. So as what happened is the stamp set came out first. The dies came out as part of Celebration, I think 3 celebrations ago. And then they brought them back in the annual catalog. And this is a beautiful set. Absolutely beautiful. So as what I did is I took these dies from the die set, and I added some adhesive sheets to a piece of basic white thick cardstock, and then I die cut these. So is what I want it to do, or what I want to do, is take the backing off, and then I'm going to add these just over here on the side. And because they were on the adhesive sheet, they are sticky stickers. So I'm going to stick that down. I'm going to take the backing off from this one, and I'm going to add that in here. I might have to do just a touch of glue. I don't know why I'm not sticking exactly, but my adhesive sheets are kind of old, I will admit. Or I just need to rub them down better. And I'm trying to do this in a bit of a hurry, as you can tell. Right, I'm going to add this one in here. I think I have room for another flower and a leaf, so I cut out just the right amount. I'll put that flower. I'm going to move this up just a touch. Put the flower in here, and take off my backing and add my leaf. Okay, so now, you know what it is? I have lotion on my hands, you guys. That wasn't a good idea. Well, it was because they were so dry, but not when you get lotion on your adhesive sheets. But I'll go back and glue those down afterwards. But I wanted to add these die cuts in there. And then to finish this one off, I used this stamp right here on a piece of thick with the fresh freesia, and I'm just going to stamp it down. And then with the Memento Black ink, the font in this stamp set is gorgeous. But I took the happy birthday and I just stamped that right down here. Okay? So, until I'm in a hurry, I'm getting ink all over. But so here's the die that fits this stamp. So I ran that through my die cutting machine, the Stamp and Cut and Emboss, and you can use the mini or the full size for that. So there's my die cut. I didn't want to keep you any longer than I have to. And then with the happy birthday, I just went and just fussy cut with my scissors. And you guys, you remember when you fussy cut, you want to move the paper, not so much your scissor, because when you move your scissor, you get those blunt edges. So move your paper. I'm just going to cut this off so that I don't have so much weight on there, so I can get around the tail on my Y. So then I have this fun little word piece, and I'm going to take this beautiful, this is the glitter, basic white glitter ribbon, and I'm going to close it up. I'm going to tie this around. I'm going to tie a bow. Great use for the dies. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And so now I've got my bow on here. And trim. And then I can take some mini dimensionals and add it to my birthday. And I'm going to put that right down here. And then again, using my retired punch, I'm just going to punch. Take a little piece of my linen thread, thread it through. And then I'm just going to tie that on. So you guys, in my hurry scurry here, I did not use the bone folder as I should have on my fold. So you see how that's popping up. So it's really important to use your bone folder and make really good creases on this card, okay? But you get it. You saw me tie the last one, and now I'm struggling with this one, but I wanted to have this look for this particular card. And once I get them all glued down and it looking all pretty, I will post a picture on it, or picture of it on my website. And last but not least, I wanted to show you this one. So this one I used just the black and white designer series paper. And I did that same thing where I alternated papers. But this one, I did a little medallion here with a belly band that slides off with the ribbon. Thanks, Beth. And then when you open this, it's got this particular stamp set, the Christmas Scotty, comes with the punch. So I just punched the little Scotty dog, gave it a woof woof, and This particular one, I did not do anything on the plain front of the card. I just left it as it was because I figured this medallion on the belly band covered enough. Thanks, Karen. I hope you'll give it a try. So there we have it. And this one I just did the designer series paper on the flap. So here's our weekly specials with the summer shadow dies. And you guys, I didn't tell you, but normally those are $34 and they're on sale for $27.20. So that's a good savings, and it nearly pays for your shipping. How good is that? And then of course here is our card that we stamped our backgrounds using the Nuts About Squirrels stamp set. So that's a wrap for this Saturday's Coffee and Create with Brenda. I really am truly so glad that you joined me, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And until next Saturday, bye for now.